Beneath the surface of our worldly pursuits lies a deeper, more profound wealth, the radiant joy of being and the deep, unshakable peace that accompanies it. Without this inner treasure, even those with great material riches are mere beggars, scavenging for scraps of pleasure, validation, or love from the outside world. Yet within each of us resides a priceless gem, a treasure trove that contains not only all of those things we seek, but is infinitely greater than anything the world can offer. The term enlightenment often brings to mind some sort of extraordinary feat, and the ego prefers to keep it that way. However, it is actually your innate state of experiencing unity with existence. It is a state of being connected to something that is immeasurable and indestructible, something that is essentially you, yet also far greater. It involves discovering your authentic nature beyond labels and appearances. When you are unable to feel this connection, the illusion of separation from yourself and the world around you arises. Consequently, you start to perceive yourself, consciously or unconsciously, as a detached fragment. Fear then arises, and internal and external conflicts become the norm. The concept of being refers to the timeless and ever-present essence of life that exists beyond the various forms of existence that are subject to the cycles of birth and death. However, it is not solely transcendent, but is also present within each form as its innermost and indestructible core. This indicates that being is accessible to every individual as their essential and authentic self. Nonetheless, attempting to comprehend this with the mind is futile. The only way to apprehend existence itself is by quieting the mind to be fully present in the current moment. In this state of profound attentiveness, one can sense the presence of being, but it can never be fully understood intellectually. Achieving this state of awareness and dwelling in the state of feeling realization is what is referred to as enlightenment. Over thousands of years, the term God has lost its true meaning due to constant misuse. Use it cautiously, as it has been used with great conviction by people who have never experienced the sacred realm behind the word. Or they argue against it, not understanding the true essence of what they are denying. This misuse of the word has given rise to absurd beliefs, assertions, and ego-driven delusions, such as, "My God is the only true God, and your God is false." The word God has become a rigid concept that generates a specific mental image whenever someone speaks of it. It might no longer create the image of an old man with a white beard, but still, it is a representation of something external to oneself. Furthermore, the image is almost inevitably that of a male entity. Neither God nor being nor any other word can truly define or explain the ineffable reality beyond it. Therefore, the essential question is whether the word helps or hinders one's ability to experience the transcendent reality it points towards. Does the word enable us to see beyond itself, or does it merely become a mental construct or idol? While the term God fails to explain the ineffable reality beyond it, the term being shares a similar limitation. However, being possesses the advantage of an open concept that does not reduce the infinite invisible to a finite entity. Unlike God, being is impossible to visualize mentally, and nobody can claim exclusive possession of it. Being is in fact the very essence of who you are, accessible to you immediately as the sensation of your own presence, the realization of I am that exists before any identification with specific things or attributes. Therefore, the transition from the concept to the experience of being is a small step. So, in this pursuit of experiencing reality, what poses the greatest challenge? The most significant hindrance to truly experiencing reality is the strong identification with one's mind, which leads to compulsive thinking. Unfortunately, most people suffer from this affliction, and it has become so common that it is deemed normal. However, this constant mental chatter obstructs one from discovering the realm of inner stillness that is an essential component of one's existence. It also gives rise to a false, self-created identity that casts a dark shadow of fear and suffering. Many of us actually commit a grave error by equating thinking with one's being and identity. As a result, the compulsive thinker, which encompasses almost everyone, lives in a state of apparent separation in a complex world of never-ending problems and conflicts. This world reflects the mind's increasing fragmentation. Enlightenment, on the other hand, represents a state of wholeness, where one is at peace and at one with life in all its forms, including the manifested world, the deepest self, and life unmanifested. Enlightenment signifies not just the end of suffering and conflict, both within and without, but also the termination of the enslavement to incessant thinking. It is an incredible liberation. Identification with the mind creates a veil of concepts, labels, images, words, judgments, and definitions, which acts as an opaque screen and blocks all genuine relationships. This veil of thought creates an illusion of separateness, an illusion that there is a you and a completely distinct other, and thus obstructs relationships with oneself, fellow human beings, nature, and God. We tend to forget that, beyond the physical appearances and separate forms, we are all interconnected and one. This forgetfulness implies that we can no longer sense this oneness as an obvious reality. Although we may believe it to be true, we no longer feel it to be true. Only through our personal experience does it become truly liberating. Thinking has now become a disease, indicating that something is out of balance. The mind is a remarkable instrument when utilized correctly. However, when used wrongly, it can be extremely harmful. More accurately, it is not that we use our minds wrongly. We often don't use it at all, and it uses us instead. This is the disease. We have come to believe that we are our minds, which is the delusion. The instrument has taken control over us. But is that actually true? The mind has a proclivity for grappling with complex problems. This explains the appeal of endeavors like Sudoku puzzles and engineering. If you have no interest in either of these pursuits, let me pose a question. Are you able to liberate yourself from your mind at will? Have you discovered the elusive off switch? If you're unable to completely stop your thoughts, even if it's just for a brief moment, it's possible that your mind is controlling you without your conscious awareness. You may have become so enmeshed with your thoughts that you identify with them as if they are a part of your very being. Recognize that you are not your thoughts. Once you understand this, you can begin to observe the thoughts that arise within you. This leads to a higher level of consciousness, where you can tap into a vast realm of intelligence that extends beyond your thoughts. Through this process of self-awareness, you can begin to appreciate the things that truly matter in life: beauty, love, creativity, joy, and inner peace. These aspects of life arise from a place that is beyond the limitations of the mind. As you continue to awaken to this reality, you can experience a newfound sense of freedom and purpose in your life.